attack with my quarterstaff.
This is Region A of the dungeon. Longtail's destiny. Longtail. Longtail is a were-rat sorcerer with a quick mind, charisma, and great ambitions. Research and the aid of his familiar, HCX.
Roll again.
Longtail found out about the dungeon, its history, and original purpose. Through HCX ability to commune with the infernal powers, he learned that there was a long-forgotten chapel close to the entryway to the dungeon and held a gateway to an extra-dimensional space where multitudes of infernal beasts had been trapped. Releasing those beasts, HCX Longtail would make the were-rat their master and would make a ferocious army available to him. Longtail's destiny was clear. Longtail's endless charm allowed him to bring together a diverse force of humanoids to accompany him on his quest. Gathered from the disaffected elements of half a dozen tribes, kobolds, troglodytes, orcs, and even an ogre rallied to his side and agreed to make the journey with the half-friend, half-fiend. Fueled by the promise of treasure and led by lizard folk guides, Longtail's force made its way to the dungeon in short order. Entering the long-lost entrance, the humanoids began exploring the area, searching for the tome's fabled wealth. Longtail himself, guided by HCX, led a small expedition into the farthest reaches. At first, the humans were eager to exploit their new home, greeting the absence of Longtail as a chance to gather as much treasure as possible while the friend was gone. But as search party after search party came back empty-handed, and with tales of barren rooms filled with nothing but traps, trouble ensued. It had been Longtail's natural leadership that held the unusual force together, and now the remaining humanoids were left to their own devices. Soon, the natural rivalries of the various humanoid groups began to ascend themselves. Insults and slights led to shouting and shoving, suspicions and rumors that one group had found a treasure and was not sharing it with the others, led to bitter accusations, inevitably armed confrontations, isolated clashes took place, and Longtail's force was splintered in two, with the reptilians, composed of kobolds and their Crenshaw mouse, troglodytes, and lizard folk, banding together out of necessity against the more numerous orcs and their ogre enforcer. The dungeon was divided between the two sides, and each side searched looking for treasure that they would never find, and as their own searches became fruitless, each side became convinced that the other side had found something. Spying gave way to full-blown battles as the two factions, spurred on by their frustrations, searched and fought across the length and breadth of the area. In a short time, they forgot about the searching for treasure and were concerned only with wiping out their enemies. During this time, the quest of Longtail was ignored by the humanoids, neither side caring any longer, and had brought them to the dungeon originally. Some even forgot about their half-friend, half-fiend. They would soon be reminded, for even as the humanoids fought amongst themselves, Longtail led his expedition to the Forgotten Chapel. There, with any of his familiar HCX, he opened the gateway, fully intent on becoming what he knew he was destined to be. And you only have knowledge of everything I just said if you are either a cleric or wizard scrying, to see, knowledge, omniscience, things you wouldn't normally know, or if you're a bard and have bardic knowledge, which in case you probably just saying all this information out for no reason. Or maybe you didn't know any of this going into it. But things did not turn out as he planned. While Longtail could control some of the beasts, he could not control all of them, and soon a wave of extraplanar beasts, driven on by the hatred, rushed through the dungeon. Falling on the fighting humanoids, the beast struck a hammer blow that filled the dungeon with the blood and the screams of Longtail's erstwhile allies. And even as Longtail tried desperately to gain control, HCX and the infernal powers smiled. You have random encounters. And there is razor wire across the hallway. All these random encounters and steps on the razor wire help add up. The sharpness of the razor wire that you have to keep on stepping over makes you feel edgy and makes you watch your step more, and all the random encounters you get around the razor wire. You level up at this one. You are now level 7. You are a badass. You are more capable than a lot of things. A lot of things don't get to level 7. You should feel good about yourself. Now I'm not going to be so easy on you, because I've been easy on you this whole time and letting you just have successes. Now that you're level 7, I'm going to be a lot more difficult as a DM. I'm going to actually try and kill characters. And you have to use your intelligence to survive. You have to actually think about your actions and not just go around slaying everything and stabbing it or charming it and calming it down.
I
roll again.
Also charge in.
Alright, I cast Cure Lesser Wound.
Charge.
I attack with my quarterstaff.
You approach the entrance. You exit the dark and this dank, narrow passageway to emerge onto a worked stone floor. Looking about you, you see that you have entered a large square chamber hewn completely from stone. You notice 2 stone doors, one to your side and the other in front of you. This is your last chance to rest. Once you cross the threshold, you're just going to be in the thick of it. And if you need to rest, rest now. I mean, reflect before entering the dungeon. You are at the entrance chamber. Nothing else enters. An inspection of the doors reveals that they are absolutely featureless, devoid of any markings, symbols, or even any sign of use. You may open either of the doors by simply placing your hand on it, and pushing the door gently glides inward and remains open. Once you cross the threshold, the door slams shut. You'll only be going forward now. There is no turning back. As you push the door, the edge disappears into a blackness that lies just beyond. You allow the door to open completely and watch as more and more of it swallowed up in the barrier until only its hinges are visible. Peering cautiously into the darkness for signs of movement, you see nothing. Even your ears can only detect the breathing of your fellow adventurers. Or you're just by yourself. Completely alone in isolation. Going through this large, mad dungeon. The dark space reveals nothing but lies beyond. The doorway circumscribes an area that is permanently warded by an oblique magical field. This field prevents all vision, including dark vision and low light vision, as well as all sound from passing through from one side to the other in either direction. In addition, the magical field has an unusual and permanent force effect that allows creatures and items to enter the dungeon without difficulty, but absolutely prevents them from leaving. As you enter into this room, the markings and general decor show that you are most clearly inside an orc stronghold. A former orc stronghold. Within this region, the orcs choose the section closest to the entrance for defensive reasons, and launch all of their research expeditions from here. Unfortunately, while this particular dungeon is defensively strong, the same qualities limit the ability of the orcs to explore other parts of the dungeon. As the conflict with the reptilians escalated, the orcs' leader, an orc barbarian named Orgar, decided that it was time to force a decision. Marshalling the orcs, he led them in an all-or-nothing assault on the reptilians throughout the dungeon. As a result, this section has been abandoned by the orcs since that time, although they plan to return here and establish a garrison to guard the entrance once they were victorious. This has not come to pass. While the unexpected release of the extraplanar beast and the subsequent dissemination and fragmentation of riot only the orc, but also reptilian forces. The section is wide open to any humanoid survivors that can make it this far. But it looks like all the orcs might already be dead. Lucky you. I thought you were about to have to fight through an entire orc stronghold. Your torchlight gleams feebly in this complete gloom, lighting up a small region of what appears to be a large room. 2 iron doors, one straight ahead of you and the other to its side, are the only things that
Also charging.
Break out the unending mass of your stone. The chill and damp air clings to your body, and you are not only one feeling and judging by a cough coming out of the darkness. You hear a cough. 3 orc warriors, looks like they're not all dead. They sit huddled together in the northeast corner of the room, one of them trying to stifle another's cough. They are sorry remnants of the orc forces that followed Longtail into the dungeon. They look extremely haggard with deep bags of scar-marked faces and ashen paleness, warning of their weakened state. The orcs were trying to hide from you, but you rush in and slay them for XP.
I'm going to attack with my bow.
You're going to need to slay a lot more orcs if you want to get to level 8. Even before you opened the door, you could smell that something was amiss. Now that it is open, the smell is overwhelming. The source is more than a score of bodies piled up in the room, their flesh rotting away. These bodies are trophies brought back by the orcs from their conflict with reptilians. There are a total of 23 bodies here, 17 kobolds and 6 troglodytes in varying states of decay, all of which have been stripped of anything they might have been carrying in life. Examination of the bodies shows that their wounds have been caused by sharp-edged weapons. The smell of decay is strong enough to require a DC 15 fortitude save from every living creature that enters the room. Failing a save causes the creature to become sickened. A -2 total attack rolls, weapon damage rolls, saving throws, skill checks, and ability checks for the duration of their stay in the room, as well as for the 1d4 rounds thereafter. Any living creature spending more than a single round in the room is also subject to catching an airborne variant of filth fever. The door to this is trapped with burning hands. Anytime a tiny or larger creature touches the face of the door, the trap is triggered, shooting flames in a cone-shaped burst of 15 feet from the center of the door. You disable the trap. Encounter orc warriors. The orcs are in the room. Orcs break out into grunts and chuckle amongst themselves and claim ignorance if confronted.
I move up to attack.
There are at least 2 of them. These ones seem a little bit more confident than the 3 you already killed. And killed them. You slay your 2 orcs that were overconfident.
Roll again. Also
in the next room, rotting barrels, moldy crates, and disintegrating sacks with mushrooms embedded in them line the left wall of this room, leaving a 5-foot wide passageway along the right wall directly in front of the door. There are dozens of barrels, crates, and sacks lining the wall extending into the western end of the room. They are piled up in an organized fashion, to say the least, and most of them have been opened. The barrels have their tops staved in, and the crates, boards thrown away, and the sacks are ripped open, some of their contents spilling onto the ground. As in room A4, the sacks are covered in black mold and mushroom colonies. Although the barrels and crates are not so afflicted, the items are stacked so haphazardly that anyone moving a barrel or crate must succeed a DC 13 dexterity check or release a cloud of spores from one of the sacks nearby. Moving a sack causes the sack to disintegrate, spilling its contents on the floor and releasing the mold into the air. If you are bold enough to rifle through the contents anyway, the barrels contain vinegar, still good. You put the vinegar into your inventory with the painting you took. Searching them carefully, you find a gold ring. Probably something to sell to a pawn shop if you ever make it out of here.
15.
Any tiny or larger creature that enters the north-south hallway leading to room A6 triggers an acid arrow trap. The proximity trigger covers the entire hallway to the door, but not beyond it. Any creature that remains in the hall after the trap resets triggers the trap again. Coils of rope, barrels with nails, and open crates of tools are lined up against the walls. Although the air is damp, there is no mold on any of the items. You have to dodge acid arrows and the hallway. Once you cross the hallway, you enter into former troglodyte quarters. The heavy smell of stale air greets you as you open the door to this large room. Bits of dry grass as well as larger hunks lay all over the floor as if a tornado recently tore through a meadow.
I cast Cure Lesser Wound.
This room was occupied by a small group of troglodytes who treated it much like their former cave home. They were among the first victims of the orcs when relations among the humanoids went sour. Given their uncivilized nature, they used it not only as their sleeping place, but for everything else, although they kept those activities to the southeastern corner. The smell of a body odor, along with the remnants of a troglodyte stench, are eye-wateringly powerful, and any living creature that enters the room must succeed a DC 12 fortitude save or become nauseated. That is to say, unable to attack, cast spells, or do anything requiring concentration, can only take a single move action per turn, for as long as it is in the room, and for 1d4 rounds after it leaves the room. The dried grass bits are remnants of mats that the troglodytes use as sleeping mats, and were destroyed during the fighting in this room. You find dried drips and small pools of blood in various places about the room.
I attack with my quarterstaff.
Alright. I'm going to attack with
the troglodytes were unaware of the standard secret door in the middle of the northern wall, as are the orcs, who, although they dragged out the troglodyte bodies, otherwise avoided the room.
I move up to attack.
Brave characters will search through the debris, search the uncovered necklace made of freshwater shells of various sizes on a leather thong, a ceremonial dagger, no value, a ceramic idol of a creature that is crossed between a toad and a lizard, no value.
Alright, I cast.
You open the door. You see an open doorway to your left. The body of an orc, his arm outstretched towards the door you have just come from, lies slumped near the middle of this room. A lone spear, its shaft lays in one of the corners. The orc was a clansman to the orcs in Room A2 that they abandoned when attacked by the fiendish Sturges. He managed to drag himself here in a vain attempt to keep up with the clansmen. His strength ran out just before he got to the door. Searching, you find several holes in the corpse. Neck, arms, and leg, where the fiendish Sturges successfully attached themselves to the orc. Each hole also has 8 smaller, rough punctures near it. The pincers of the fiendish Sturges found puncture. Both doors in this room are open. An open door on the opposite wall appears to be the only other way in or out of this otherwise empty room. In the next room, there is no floor, but there are hooks hanging off the ceiling, and you have to use your arms and swing from hook to hook to get across the room. Because there is no floor in this room. There are only hooks hanging from the ceiling. You just use your arms to swing and grab, which is known as actuation, though I don't think I said that right. Sturges fly at you, and a dark mantle attacks you while you're trying to cross the room. You have to hang off a hook and either cast spells or use a bow or crossbow, or wait for them to come and attack you with using a sword to defend yourself, and time it just perfectly so that they don't knock you into the emptiness that's where the floor should be. It is very difficult, but you slay all the Sturges and the Dark Mantle, and it takes a very long time, and your arms are very sore from hanging on the ceiling for so long. You level up. You are now level 8. This is a lot of fun we are having. We are having so much fun right now. The Watcher in the doorway. Both doors to this room are open. The following description omits the presence of a fiendish rat. Peering through the open doorway, you discern for certain that the room is empty. There is an open door on the opposite wall that could be the only exit. You are attacked by a rat swarm. You have to make a bunch of little tiny attacks on a bunch of individual rats that make up the body of a swarm of rats, taking reduced damage from you not really being able to target them too well because there are so many of them, such as a swarm. If any of them bite you, you have to make a fortitude save
Alright, I
to
cast
not get
Cure
sick
Lesser Wound.
from their vermin,
Also
infectious diseases
I
that they carry
attack
with them.
with my quarterstaff.
Both doors into this hallway are open. A lone small skeleton lies in this 10-foot wide hallway, bits of clothing and leather armor still clinging to its frame. Two open doors, one on either end of the hallway, give no clue as to what lays beyond. The skeleton is the remains of a kobold captive brought back by an orc patrol and killed by Orkar. He was left here by the orcs as a mascot and pitched green by the Phoenix rat swarms as it made its way through the room. Carefully examining the skeleton shows hundreds of tiny bite marks on the bones and leather armor. Looking through the open doorway to the north reveals four more open doors.
Cure Lesser Wound.
The door to this room is open.
Roll again.
Peering through the open door, you find out this room is a disaster area. Unpleasant hints of animal waste, filth and scraps of clothing, bits of wood, and other trash cover the floor. This was one of the rooms the orcs used as sleeping quarters. But few items of furniture there were, along with the former occupants' clothing, backpacks, and other possessions, have been chewed to pieces by the fiendish rat swarm the species encountered in the tent. The smell is full of rodent waste, with a hint of sulfur that does much to describe the infernal realms that these creatures normally inhabit.
I attack with my
An unpleasant odor greets you before you step through the open door. The smell combined with the trash-covered floor makes it clear that the rodent's path of destruction went through this area as well. Two fiendish dire rats attack. They are hostile.
I also
You
charge.
slay the two fiendish dire rats, gaining some XP.
Roll again.
The fiendish dire rats are difficult. The duo is smart. The door to this room is open. Orc quarters. The trash that lays in the hallway and the open door indicate that there is probably little to be found in this room. Once you enter, you see that the remnants of a bed are still evident in one corner of this room, but everything else has been thoroughly destroyed. This was the room of two orc barbarians and actually contained a bed that one of the players scavenged from room 820. Unfortunately, the fiendish dire rat swarm has torn the place to bits. The bed is nothing more than a plank on four legs.
I attack with my quarterstaff.
Searching, you notice a small tin box lying under the bed. The box is 6 inches long, 3 inches wide, and 2 inches high. It has a clasp that is held closed by a piece of metal wedged into the ring. The box is not trapped, if otherwise locked. Opening it reveals that it is lined with black silk and has 3 indentations to hold
Roll
vials.
again.
Although there are 2 vials in the box, one of them is broken and its contents have settled into the silk. There is currently only one intact vial in the box. It is a potion of cure moderate wounds. So if you take any damage, you can heal yourself some with the potion of cure moderate wounds. Trash is strewn on the floor of this room, accompanied by the bitter smell of rodent dung. You are cornered by fiendish dark mantles that were clinging to the ceiling. You slay the fiendish dark mantles and gain some XP.
Roll again.
Alright, I cast Cure Lesser Wound.
Both doors in this room are open. The southern hallway.
I attack.
You can already see the exit of this room, an open door directly across from you, even as you notice that this room appears to be empty. This room is empty, save some dust and debris. However, it is a gateway. The moment that you enter the room, roll listen and spot checks. Encounter fiendish sturges that were clinging to the ceiling. You slay more sturges and gain more XP. Both the doors in this room are open. Middle hallway. This room looks much like the last room, with both doors open and nothing to be seen. This room is completely empty. Assuming that neither side has been spotted in the other, continue to make a single listening spot check. Listening carefully for crafty echoes.
Also charging.
Northern hallway room. All 3 doors in this room are open. This room appears to be a junction, with the 3 open doorways leading in different directions. Like the previous 2 rooms, it is empty.
going to attack.
You
with my
come across
bow.
a phalanx
Alright,
of
I
orcs,
cast
an entire
Cure
squad,
Lesser Wound.
heavily armored. But you're already level 8. I think you can
My
take them.
quarterstaff.
The battle is hard and they surround you, but with your superior skill, you manage to defeat and kill all of them, gaining XP. You are now level 9.
I move up to
Not
attack.
only were you surrounded on all sides by orcs, but there were also sturges in the room, and they were clinging onto the ceiling and dropped off and attacked you from above. You overcame all of them, took some wounds, and then used your weapons to cure moderate wounds. Came out unscathed. You are level 9 now.
I'm going to attack with my bow.
I attack with my quarterstaff.
Of orc and kobold bodies line this room, along with a couple of flying octopus
Alright, I
creatures.
cast
Stools,
Cure
reed
Lesser
mats,
Wound.
and blankets are strewn all over the place, along with what were probably the personal possessions of the kobolds that made this their home. The kobolds and orcs fighting in this room were surprised and overwhelmed by the wave of fiendish dark mantles that rolled into the area. Although they quickly banded together to fight this new enemy, it was too late. Currently, there are 5 fiendish dire rats busy picking up the choicest morsels to be found among the 7 orc and 12 kobold corpses. They are rather agitated, in fact, awaiting the inevitable arrival of the fiendish cat swarms from room A44. There is a bunch of distracting noises in this room.
15. I move up to attack. Charge.
More fiendish dire rats. You slay more fiendish dire rats. These rats are like the size of dogs. Kobold keeps living area. The door to this room is open. The smell of blood in this room is close to overwhelming. Kobold and orc rats, along with an almost equal number of flying octopus creatures, lie strewn about the room. A couple of large feline bodies can be identified in one of the corners. A small sea of drawing blood coats the floor like a torn carpet. This was Borean's kobold chief quarters, and it was here that the battle between the orcs and the kobolds reached its climax with Borean. His best warriors in the 2 Fenchar, battling a score of orcs even as both sides inflicted heavy casualties on each other. The fiendish dark mantles fell on them, and a 3-day battle was joined, during which all the humanoids, including Borean, perished, although their hasty alliance managed to inflict some serious casualties on the fiendish dark mantles. So thick is the blood in this room that any creature moving across the sticky floor must succeed a DC 15 reflex save. Every move action or fall prone among the blood and bodies, move silently checks suffer a -5 circumstance penalty due to the noise made when moving through the sticky blood. If you fall into the mess, it's partially coated with blood and wood. Given the carnage in the place, not even the fiendish dire rats have ventured into the room. Because of the massive carnage, it is impossible to tell that the room once contained a broken table with the 7 small stools are scattered throughout the area, as 8 to 10 reed mats and attendant blankets. The remaining items, mostly kobold personal items, had been stored in sacks, are scattered about the room amongst the bodies. Treasure. The sheer damage done to the area and the sheer mess makes locating any small valuable items a chancy proposition. The bodies still have their usual arms and armaments. Most items are crushed or so drenched in blood that they are almost unrecognizable. Still, determined, may search for the following items: a silver ring, a set of the moonstone on an orc's hand, 6 sets of gold kobold horn caps, an electrum earring and a kobold's ear, a masterwork spear that lays near Borean, a blue coral necklace torn from the neck of an orc, a gold pendant in the shape of a tree around a kobold's throat, a pair of fine leather boots on the feet of an orc. An additional item of interest is a large chest situated in the southwestern corner of the room, has an orc corpse slumped across it. This was the kobold chieftain's personal chest, and as is located with an average lock. It is not trapped. It contains a bolt of purple silk, a plain gold circlet, 2 sacks of silver pieces, 1 sack of gold pieces, a small pouch of platinum pieces, and 2 pouches of gems.
Move up to attack.
Roll again.
Fenchar favors. Both doors to this area are open.
15.
I attack with my quarterstaff. Alright, I cast Cure Lesser Wound.
Refuse. You are approaching within 20 feet of this alcove. Become aware of the putrid smell.
Alright.
You have traced the smell to its source.
I
A hole
roll
in the
again.
ground, some 6 inches in diameter, sits in the corner. The depth of the hole and the smell betray its function.
I also
The hole is actually a small crack that appears during a minor earthquake. The hole has become a home for trash, refuse, and disease. Any contact with the surface makes one susceptible to catching filth fever. Make a fortitude save.
Alright,
You avoid catching filth fever. The door to this room is
Roll
open.
again.
The secret door in the eastern wall. A table, a stool, and a bed, all intact, sit across from the door. A circle of 6 stools in the center of the room surrounds a pile of dirt on the floor. This is Allcar's bedroom and headquarters. The room is almost exactly as he left it when he went to lead the orcs in the final assault against the Reptilians. A hollowed-out kobold skull sits on the desk, along with a back scratcher carved out of a lizard folk thigh bone. The bed, a plank with 4 legs, still holds Allcar's blanket and a pillow made from a troglodyte skin and stuffed with the hair of orcs his clan has defeated in combat. The 6 stools were where Allcar's would hold his planning meetings, while the pile of dirt served as a crude chalkboard to illustrate his plans. In good military fashion, whatever had been drawn on the dirt is obscured. The secret doors is in the southern and eastern walls are standard secret doors. The secret room. The secret door to the secret room is trapped. Holding the door open releases siphoning blades located underneath the door. The blades swing at you. Each blade swings in the square directly in front of the door. A hidden bolt near the outside edge of the door can be pushed down to keep the blades in place. The trap is reset and the door is closed. Spots of blood on the floor outside the door hint to the trap, but in the darkness, you may not have noticed it. Several rough tables sit in various places in this room. Poorly constructed chairs are pushed near the tables. Everything is coated with a fine layer of dust. Secret room.
Roll again.
Several rough tables sit in various places in this room. Poorly constructed chairs are pushed near the tables. Everything is coated with a fine layer of dust. Treasure. Careful search reveals items that escaped notice over the years. A leather pouch with a deck of playing cards featuring formal suits, sword, fireball, whip, and spider, and a gold ring with an opal inlay. It's worth 280 gold pieces. Are hidden behind a few bits of wood. Although the dungeon's creators did not require much in the way of comforts, they did create some place to pass the time. This is one of the areas and consists of 3 rooms, each with a different function. The humanoids all knew of these rooms, but only made any real use of room A22 for its water supply. They never realized the magical properties of room A23 and avoided room A24 due to the uncomfortable silence. Currently, there is only 1 monster in these rooms.
Alright, I cast Cure Lesser Wound.
The door to this room is open. You hear the sound of running water as you approach this
Roll
room.
again.
The sound comes from 4 pillars, one in each corner of the large room that have a channel cut into them to allow water to run down. The initial attitude is unfriendly. The running water imposes a -10 circumstance penalty to all listen checks attempts made by any creature, either while in the room and trying to listen to noise within or outside the room, or for creatures outside the room trying to make out noises from inside the room. Because the PCs have a chance to refresh themselves, they must contend with the ogre that is currently catching a rest here. There is also an ogre in the room with you. The ogre is unfriendly, but he does not attack you. You and the ogre rest together in the same room.
I attack with my
You two do not cuddle, you sleep in the same room with the ogre. Then after you are fully rested, you realize that killing the ogre would probably be worth good XP, so you slay the ogre. You advance to level 10. The ogre's name is Bragdor. You find that out when you loot his body, and he has his name sewn into his clothes.
Roll again.
Pillars of Illusion.
I attack.
The doors to this room are open. This room is even larger than the previous one, and, much like it for all intents and purposes, this room has 4 large pillars, one in each corner. The room appears empty, and the pillars are completely nondescript. This is deceiving, as the pillars are capable of generating major image effects. This is not evident. However, unless someone casts detect magic on them, at which point they radiate a faint illusion aura. Creating an image requires a successful DC 18 concentration check. If successful, the creature can create a major image that acts exactly as the spell, but only in the room. This room is haunted. You are attacked by ghosts. You need to either be a monk, or have ghost touch on your weapons, or attack the ghost magically to defeat them. Somehow, you defeat the ghost and gain XP.
Roll again.
You are level 10 still. Pillars of Silence. The door to this room is open. 4 pillars dominate the corner of this large room. Total quiet exists in this room, courtesy of the permanent silence radiated by the pillars. These effects are identical to the spell of the same name, except that the effect is limited to this room. No sound can be generated within the room, and no sound passes through the room, so that the sounds made out in the hall do not penetrate through the room, and vice versa.
Roll again.
Casting detect magic on the pillars reveals a faint illusion aura. The maze, as the humanoids call it, is a mystery. Perhaps its maddening design kept prisoners from finding the surface. Whatever its purpose, the tight quarters, countless doors, and winding halls were a perfect reminder of home for the tribe of troglodytes that call it home. Although nominally akin to reptilian forces, the troglodytes largely keep to themselves and explore very little. Algar had enough political acumen to realize that dozens of orcs could get bogged down in the maze, and thus, except for a small force to take room 825, the orcs avoided the area during their final assault on the reptilians. Orvahar planned to deal with the troglodytes later. Although the orcs' surprise attack managed to drive the troglodytes from room 825, the orcs were themselves soon overrun and forced to retreat into the maze by a large swarm of fiendish dark mantles that Longtail had released, where they all met their fate. Currently, the troglodytes hold the eastern rooms in their grasp, having fought off the fiendish dark mantles in the narrow halls, and awaits whatever comes next. Due to their close quarters and the effects of the troglodyte musk, this is a dangerous area for even a well-prepared person or party, especially me. Before having entered thoroughly study this section of the dungeon, the doors in the maze proportion, the doors between hallways, are all open. Unless otherwise indicated, doors between hallways can open in either direction. The decision, note that any action that takes place within the hallways of the main shop will be referenced in the description. Pillar room. All doors to and from this room are open. A giant pillar, some 10 feet in diameter and rising from floor to ceiling, dominates this room. Defaced images cover every inch of the column, leaving no clue as to what they might have once been. Several open doorways lead out of the room, but they were obviously of little use to the orc corpses that littered the floor. Several bodies of reddish, leathery, octopus-like creatures are scattered about, one still attached to an orc's head. The images of the pillar are beyond recognition. Horrible on face, the 7 orcs are remnants of Oghar's strike force that was to take this room. Killed by the swarm of fiendish dark mantles that flooded through the area, they learned too late that the extraplanar beasts are quite capable of opening doors. Examining the orcs shows that all of them have lolling tongues and boggling eyes or broken necks. Clearly they were attacked by the fiendish dark mantles. You have distracting visions.
Roll again.
The fiendish dark mantles attack you. You defend yourself. In addition, treasure. In addition to arms and armor that are standard equipment for the orcs, you find a few items of interest on the orcs with a successful search check. A small block of hacked silver, that chunk of silver from which pieces are cut to pay for items worth 37 silver pieces. A gold nose ring, 6 gold pieces in value, threaded through an orc's nostril. A small leather bag with 3 pieces of lapis. Well-worn ivory knuckle bones. Silver and gold bracelet with images of dolphins. A small, bright golden feather woven into one hat.
I attack with my quarterstaff.
You enter into a narrow room. 2 orc corpses lie in the back of this long, narrow room. Obviously, the victims of the octopus-like creatures, the room is otherwise empty. These orcs were forced to retreat to this room when the fiendish dark mantles attacked and were killed for their efforts. Except for the 2 orc corpses, the room is empty. The orcs are still wearing their armor and their battle axes laid by their sides.
15.
Several shovels and picks lay against one corner of the wall. A corpse, by the look of it, lays in the other corner. One of the flying octopuses attached to his head. You were attacked by flying octopuses. You defend yourself from the flying octopuses. One of the flying octopuses had a masterwork dagger worth 30 gold pieces. The Whimperer in darkness.
Alright.
An orc corpse lies in the hallway just before the door. Another victim of the fiendish dark mantles. You attempt to open the door. Pushing against the door, you sense resistance. When you push a little harder, the door moves slightly before moving backward towards you as if something is pushing back on the other side. Is that a whimpering word? The door is being held closed by Turag, an orc that managed to survive the fiendish dark mantle storm by seeking refuge in this room. Even as this fellow orc was being killed right outside the door, he's barricading the door by jamming the points of the kobold spear under the bottom and holding on for dear life.
Roll again.
You can force open the door. You overpower Turog and force open the door. Once the door is open, Turog retreats to the northwestern corner, grasping his battle axe and trying to look as threatening as possible even though he is shaking with fear. You use your ability to sense motive to reveal that the orc is clearly in no mood for conflict. You attack Turog. He goes down fighting. You gain XP. Casualties. The door to the room is open. Close to a dozen orc bodies lie in various places about the room, along with an equal number of flying octopus creatures. Several chairs and tables are also present, no doubt scattered during the battle. Once used as a marshalling hall, the room is presently empty except for the bodies. However, once you have been invading the room for 2 rounds, a fiendish rat swarm enters the hallway leading to this room from the southern door and heads into the room in search for more prey.
Lesser wound.
You did not spend 2 rounds in the room, did you? Or did you simply look inside and leave? The wave enters the hallway while you still are in it. You are attacked by a fiendish rat swarm. You slay the fiendish rat swarm, stomping on all the rats, like you're tap dancing.
Alright, I cast Cure
Animal
Wound.
The hallways and rooms north of the room you were just in and west of the rooms before that are the home of troglodytes. You enter into the area and are automatically sickened, taking a -2 to all attack and weapon damage roll saving throws, skill ability checks. The entire time you are within the area from the strong concentration of troglodyte musk that pervades the area after the fiendish dark mantle attack. In addition, you must succeed a DC 13/14 save every round. Once you fail, you are nauseated, unable to attack and cast spells. As it gets worse, you require attention. You are horribly sickened and nauseated by the smell.
Alright,
once you leave the area, you are no longer nauseated. Open room. A troglodyte lies in the corner, strangulation evident on its features. Next to him lies a flying octopus creature, its body falling apart. The dead troglodyte is one of 3 that run yard in this room. When the fiendish dark mantles hit the area, his partners manage to retreat to another room and warn the troglodytes there. A not-so-tasty meal. The doors to this room are open. The bodies of 2 troglodytes lie on the floor, obviously suffocated to death. These troglodytes met their fate as the fiendish dark mantles swept through the area. The fiendish dark mantles are no longer gone, having pushed on to the western end of the maze. Currently, 8 fiendish surges that were following the fiendish dark mantles for just such opportunities are taking advantage of the situation, draining the corpses dry. Distracting noises. You are attacked by fiendish surges and fiendish dark mantles that were hanging and climbing on the ceiling. You slay them, gaining XP. Although the fiendish surges are hungry, they are not suicidal. They gladly leave their fellows behind.
Alright, I cast Cure Lesser Wound.
Roll again.
I move up to attack.
You enter into a torture chamber. The door to the room is trapped. Pulling the door open releases siphoning blades located underneath the door. The blades swing out at anyone standing closest to the door, usually the person opening the door. Each blade swings into the square directly in front of the door. A hidden bolt near the outside edge of the door can be pushed down to keep the blades in place. The trap is reset when the door is closed. This room served as a prison and torture chamber hundreds of years ago, but after the earthquake broke open the tombs, the blindfolded slaves were brought into this room through the secret door, and once the secret door was closed, showing that there was no way out, it had been escaped discovery until now. Ambush. All 4 of the doors in this area are open.
Alright.
You are assaulted. You are assaulted by troglodytes. Troglodytes ambush you. You are ambushed by 8 troglodytes. You slay all 8 troglodytes. You enter the troglodyte living quarters. The door to this room, as are all the doors in this area, is open. Several troglodytes lie in fetal position on reed mats, otherwise this room appears to be empty. Before your arrival, there was 1 troglodyte stationed in the doorway, prepared to move down the hall to do battle. There are a total of 6 dead troglodytes here, having been arranged in the proper burial position by their clerics. There are no other live troglodytes in the room. You are attacked by 7 more troglodytes. 3 of them are either women or children.
Roll again.
You slay all the troglodytes, gaining more XP. One of them was named Yurkak, and Yurkak was the troglodyte priest. Outer chamber. The standard secret door is locked with a good lock. Open lock check, DC 30. It's difficult, but you take 20, and with your skill in open lock, you are able to open the lock of the secret standard door. In the lower left corner of the door, the lock is part of the door and cannot be attacked. You unlock the door with your superior skill.
Roll again.
Pick the lock. A skeletal body falls into the passageway. This is the body of an orc soldier imprisoned in this room by his fellow soldiers, and his madness overtook him. Unable to get out, he eventually starved to death. A broken short sword lies next to the secret door, its blade snapped. Magazine. The secret door is trapped to release a swinging block that hits anything within the doorway. When the door is pushed open, there are 2 such blocks, 1 for each side of the door to be pushed in on, but only 1 can be triggered at a time due to the construction of the trigger mechanism, which relies on the door opening into the room to operate. The hidden vault bypass for each box is located just inside the door and usually requires that the door be pushed open slowly in order to access the locking mechanism just inside the door frame. Pushing the door closed resets the trap. Several weapons, as well as barrels and cases, sit in this haphazard fashion within this room. You find treasure. There are 2 light repeating crossbows here, along with the 6 loaded magazines. A small barrel of 100 light crossbow bolts balances in one corner, while there are racks to hold over a score. All arms currently, only 3 spears are here. The cases have all been emptied of their contents. The quad. 4 large rooms encompassing A37 to A84D serve as workshops, although most of the tools are gone, having been taken by a number of humanoid races. The large furniture and tables are still in place. Although empty for the most part, the area currently serves as a resting place for several beasts that enjoy the open space and feel for the form of workshops as an excellent place to build a nest. Toolsmith workshop. The door to this room is open and secured with a metal hook that holds the door in place, preventing it from being accidentally closed. Several large workbenches are arranged in haphazard fashion in this room. The 5 workbenches all show signs of heavy use under their dust. Various tools lay about the workshop, all of them either broken or in poor repair. Currently, 6 fiendish surges rest on the workbenches. You are attacked by 6 fiendish surges. You slay 6 fiendish surges, gaining XP. Weaponsmith workshop. The door to this room is open and secured with a metal spike that prevents it from being closed. There are 11 workbenches in the workshop. Destroyed workshop. The door to this room is open and secured with an iron spike that has been driven into the wall to prevent it from being closed. The workbenches in this room have all been destroyed, as has the furnace that sits in the southwestern corner. Whoever cleaned out this room destroyed everything with a sledgehammer, including the furnace. Dire rats attack.
Roll again.
Undisclosed number. You kill all the dire rats, gaining XP.
I attack with my quarterstaff.
Alright.
Destroyed laboratory. The door to this room is partially open, hanging by one of the hinges as a result of the explosion that ripped through the laboratory. The door blocks passage for medium creatures. You must use a mega strength check to pry open the door. This room is obviously devastated by an explosion. Scorch marks adorn walls and whatever furniture once adorned the place is in
Roll
shards.
again.
Here and there you can make out what appears to be part of a table or the leg of a stool, but otherwise the destruction is complete. This was a laboratory that was destroyed during a failed experiment involving fire irritation. The entire laboratory was virtually vaporized and the door was knocked off its hinge. The entire floor is covered in slivers of wood, chunks of stone, pieces of glass, and bone shards, and impose a -10 circumstance penalty to all most silently checks. All of the debris is scorched in some manner, and the entire place still smells of the smoke that burned many years ago. The remnants of a furnace sit in the northwestern corner, the explosion reducing
Roll
it
again.
to little more than a pile of rubble about the height of a man's knee. Treasure. The floor is a huge mess, and any attempt to locate anything would require many hours of sweeping and sifting through the trash. The furnace, despite its almost total destruction, is a more promising area to search than a PC that succeeds at a DC 25 search check finds a short sword that looks almost unmarked by the devastation. This is a +1 short sword that has been prepared to receive further enhanced enchantments when the research is detonated. Kobold Stronghold. Kobold Stronghold. Chosen because of the hallway allowed the Crenshaws free reign. It was the first target of the Orcs' last assault. As the battle in this area reached its climax, a wave of extraplanar beasts joined the fray. Even a last-second alliance between the Kobolds and Orcs could not stop the onslaught. Currently, a number of extraplanar beasts are exploring the area, looking for scraps and nesting places. Kobold Guard Post. The door to this room is open. 2 dead orcs and 3 dead kobolds line this room amidst an overturned table and a collection of stools. Hostile. This area was a guard post for the kobolds and occupied this area. The guards were tasked with guarding the approach of anything from the maze. Breaking through the kobold defenses in room A45, Oghar sent a squad of orcs through the western tunnel to deal with them. The corpses that lie here are the result of the skirmish. Currently, there are 3 fiendish dire rats rummaging through the area, looking for something to nibble on. You slay the 3 fiendish dire rats, gaining XP. Kobold living area. The door to this room is open. A number of orc and kobold bodies line this room along with a couple of flying octopus creatures. Stools, reed mats, and blankets are strewn all over the place, along with what were probably the personal possessions of the kobolds that made this home. The kobolds and orcs hiding in this room were surprised and overwhelmed by the wave of fiendish dark mantles that rolled through the area, although they quickly banded together to fight this new enemy. It was too late. Currently, there are 5 fiendish dire rats busy picking out the choicest morsels to be found among the 7 kobold corpses. They are rather agitated, in fact, awaiting the inevitable arrival of the fiendish cat swarms from room A44. There is a bunch of distracting noises in this room. More fiendish dire rats. You slay more fiendish dire rats. These rats are like the size of dogs. Kobold chief's living area. The door to this room is open. The smell of blood in this room is close to overwhelming. Kobold and orc dead, along with an almost equal number of flying octopus creatures, lie strewn about the room. A couple of large feline bodies can be identified in one of the corners. A small sea of drawing blood coats the floor like a torn carpet. This was Borean's, the kobold's quarters, and it was here that the battle between the orcs and the kobolds reached its climax with Borean. His best warriors and the 2 Crenshaw battling a score of orcs, even as both sides inflicted heavy casualties on each other. The fiendish dark mantles fell on them, and a three-way battle was joined, during which all the humanoids, including Borean, perished. Although their hasty alliance managed to inflict some serious casualties on the fiendish dark mantles. So thick is the blood in this room that any creature moving across the sticky floor must succeed a DC 15 reflex save. Every move action or fall prone among the blood and bodies, move silently checks suffer a -5 circumstance penalty due to the noise made when moving through the sticky blood. If you fall into the mess, are partially coated with blood and gore. Given the carnage in the place, not even the fiendish dire rats have ventured into the room. Because of the massive carnage, it is impossible to tell that the room once contained a broken table with the 7 small stools are scattered throughout the area. Beds, 8 to 10 reed mats and attendant blankets. The remaining items, mostly kobold personal items, had been stored in sacks, are scattered about the room amongst the bodies.
I also charge.
The hiding place is also guarded by a spring-loaded crunching dagger blade that flies out the moment the rock flap is lifted, punching itself into the face or chest of the person opening the door.
Roll
The blade is
again.
coated with green blood oil that has lost much of its potency. Collapsing energy field. The door to this area is closed and has draconic writings on it and warns danger do not enter. A large shimmering ruby red crystal about the height of a man floats in the center of the chamber some 3 feet off the ground. The ruby red crystal is the remnant of an energy field that once held a minor devil. It lost its primary function when the fiend escaped, but it still has enough energy to be dangerous should any person or object disturb its surface. Kobolds never touch it. Knowing there was something dangerous about it, the shimmering is actually a result of the slow ebbing of the field's energy. Disturbing the energy field surface is a physical matter, be it though touch using a pole, throwing a stone, etc., causing the protective field to collapse in on itself and releasing the remaining energy in a 15-foot radius all around the ruby. This release causes 2d4 points of force damage to all within the radius. Those caught in the blast can attempt a DC 12 reflex save to take only half damage. There is no way to disarm the energy field.
Roll again.
I'm also charging.
The long hallway. The length of this room extends beyond the edge of the light source. Here lies an orc corpse, there rests a dead kobold, and over there a flying octopus that has had 3 of its tentacles severed lies limp against the wall. The key to controlling this region lies in controlling this hallway, as it affords access to all the parts of the dungeon, and Oghar made it as one of the key objectives when planning the orc assault. Although it was officially neutral, the kobolds realized the significance of the hallways as well as always kept a guard force nearby. Although numerically superior, the orcs had difficulty taking the hallway due to the presence of the Voyakits, Lorians, brother, and a kobold wizard. However, as the battle in the kobold stronghold, the sudden appearance of the extraplanar beast ended the combat in a way neither side had anticipated. Numerous humanoid and bestial dead lie in the hallway, including orcs, kobolds, a couple of Crinchar, Fiendish Sturges, Fiendish Dark Vandals, and even some Fiendish Dire Ramps. Given the prominence of this place and numerous paths for access, you should roll for random encounters. Kobold Guard Post. This room is completely empty. Although neutral by agreement, the kobolds kept a regular group of guards here to keep an eye out of what was going on in room 849. When the orcs attacked, all the guards joined the battle in the hallway. This room has nothing in it. The coffin. Several skeletons of varying size lie about the room, tags hanging off their bones. The smell is almost unbearable, forcing you to cover your nose. Given the isolated location of the room, it is ideal for disposing of bodies. All manner of humanoid and beast have been thrown here over the centuries, creating a distinct pile of bones and rotting flesh. Secret throne room. This large room has a simple throne carved from stone situated near the eastern end. Bits of chain and iron rings hammered into stone unleash a sense of dread. Otherwise, there appears to be nothing of interest here. It is unclear who altered this room and used it for evil. Its slaves were tortured here for viewing pleasure of whosoever sat upon the throne. You can pick out numerous large rust red stains on the floor. The throne is without features, save 2 red gems cut into the back. It has been hewn from a single piece of rock. Just the right size for a dwarf or a similar sized creature. Unfortunately, is also cursed due to the whole deeds that were perpetuated by its owner. Any living creature that touches the throne is subject to the curse and must succeed at a DC 14 willpower saving throw. Western Gallery. The southern door in the hallway is open. Read the following description. A number of skeletons from a range of creatures hang on the walls, spaced equally apart, iron spikes visible below their bones. After the demons broke out hundreds of years ago, they took over portions of the dungeon in a mad orgy of violence. For a time, this room served as a gallery of torture. During its time, the walls held a mountain corpse of a number of creatures from Drow to Duragar. Every humanoid in between, since the time, has been reduced. The corpses and skeletons make it more difficult to identify the individual species of each.
Alright, I cast cure lesser wounds.
The exact composition of the bodies is given. Any humanoid up to large size available.
Roll again.
Ogre, orc, dwarf, elf, halfling, etc. Familiar. Distracting visions. Haunted. Eastern gallery. The southern door in the hallway is open. A number of skeletons from obvious different creatures hang on the walls, spaced equally apart, iron spikes visible below their bones.
15.
You were attacked by skeletons, dried husk, giant spider, a rotted carcass, obviously a
Roll
zombie.
again.
You slay all these things,
Alright.
getting close to level 11.
Cure lesser wounds. I attack.
Alright.
Guard room.
I'm going to attack.
This room once served as living quarters for elite guards. What furniture it once had was removed by the orcs. Currently, 3 fiendish dark mantles are relaxing here. They hang from the ceiling like large stalactites, and anyone that looks up at the ceiling should be able to notice them. Before they attack, you slay them,
Roll again.
gaining XP, getting closer to level 11. Guard room. A broken table is in the one item of interest in this room. This room served as the home of a guard captain, but any functioning printer was cleared out by the humanoid some time ago. The table is left alone as it has no value. Scattered on the floor are tiny shreds of paper, perhaps from a journal or log. Both the reptilians and orcs tended to avoid the area covering rooms and hallways in between. Almost destroyed in the heavy earthquakes that damaged the entire complex, the entire area is unstable. Chunks of the ceiling and dust lie everywhere, making it easy to hide in the difficult place to maneuver through. When the occasional tremor rumbles through all the portion of the complex, it causes more dust, dirt, and rocks to fall from the ceiling, giving the entire area a sense of imminent annihilation. No creature willingly makes its home here. That is not to say that there are not currently some residents extraplanar scavengers roam the area hoping to find an easy meal. A handful of reptilian refugees also hide in the area hoping to escape notice. The unstable and damaged condition of the area creates an interesting tactical situation for you and any creature that rely on land movement. The rubble that is strewn everywhere hampers movement throughout the entire area. Each square move costs double. Rubble also prevents any land-based charges running throughout the entire area. Finally, land-based attempts to move silently suffer a -5 circumstance penalty due to the rock and dirt underfoot. Note: major tremors in the section have potential to collapse parts of the tunnels, sections of the rooms, block doors, etc., making it even more difficult to move through the area or even get out at all. If a door or passage is blocked by rocks, it requires 1d20 minutes to clear the space for medium creatures to squeeze through. Empty room.
I move up to attack.
The door to this room has been wedged partially open by the earthquake and requires a strength check to completely open. Rubble and dust covers the floor of this room anywhere from ankle to knee height. This room is empty except for the mirror. However, the noise of the door being forced open is likely to be heard by the fiendish dark ankles in room A58, keeping the PCs from being able to surprise the beast. Dark ankles attack. Again and again, you defend yourself. Fiendish dark mantles. More dark mantles. More fiendish dark mantles. You slay all of them. You do not get any treasure. Due to the dusty conditions in the room, the combinations of dark mantle flight and their movements stir up dust, making things even more difficult for you to see.
Roll again.
But your skills are sharp, and they are almost no threat to you when you slay them. Increase the miss chance due to concealment by 10% to 30%. You should still miss 30% of the time.
Alright, I cast Cure Lesser Wounds.
I also charge in.
Empty room. The earthquake caused the lintel above the door to collapse. As a result, the door requires a DC 20 strength check to open, which you succeed at. Cells. All of these small cells are identical to the door of each is open in similar description. Through the open door, you see a small room, perhaps once a cell, perhaps only a closet relatively clear of rubble. Narrow construction, these former cells have managed to escape the damage suffered by the rest of the area. Although they were emptied out long ago, They are a handy place to be should a tremor occur, as they provide complete protection from the debris. If not, the dust, the doors to these cells while open are fully functional.
Roll again.
Alright. I'm going to attack with my bow.
Prison. Rubble chokes the narrow passageway of this room. Anything that may have been of interest in this room is buried under the rubble that comes into the average man's waist.
Alright, I cast Cure Lesser Wound.
Storage vault. The door to this room is partially open. Rubble blocks the doorway, except for a narrow 1-foot wide opening. Peering through the narrow juncture, you can see a number of open chests lined against one wall.
I also charge in.
This was once a storage vault for items of minor importance. A small creature smaller can fall through the opening without a problem. A creature medium-sized must succeed a DC 30 escape artist check to pass through the existing opening. A large creature or larger cannot pass
I
through.
attack with my
Attempts to widen the opening require caution. A successful DC 15 knowledge, architecture, and engineering or profession mining check reveals that the entire thing will collapse unless properly shored up, and how to go about doing so. If these skills are not available, then treat the threat of collapse as a falling block trap.
Alright, I cast Cure Lesser Wound.
Roll again.
I
You go past
also
a collapsed
charge
guard
in.
post. You go into a barracks.
I attack with my attack.
This is a kobold barracks. You are attacked on all sides by kobolds, and they are led by Boyakit, who is a wizard shooting magic missiles at you, which have no chance to miss. Somehow, you defeat all of them in the barracks,
I move up to attack.
taking on kobolds in waves,
Roll again.
riding lizards, lizard mounts,
Alright,
and
I
crunchers,
also charge in.
which are magical beasts.
Alright. I'm going to attack.
After slaying all the kobolds and their leader, Boyakit, a kobold wizard, you go through their quarters looking for anything of value. You go through more of their quarters. You walk through their training hall. Chunks of rocks of varying sizes create an almost mountainous terrain in this large and long room. You enter into a study. Both doors in this room are open. However, while the door from the hallway is perfectly normal, the doorway leading to room A74 is trapped with a resetting color spray trap. The top of the sensor peeks out from the rubble in this otherwise empty room.
I'm going to
Sleeping
attack
chamber.
with my bow.
There's a color spray
Alright,
trap
I
here.
cast Cure Lesser Wound.
Although the room is covered with dust and rubble like all others, you can make out images on the walls.
I move up to attack.
Roll again.
Charge.
Digging through the rubble, you find some furniture worth 12 gold pieces, which you can put into your inventory. You move through the assistant quarters. The damage in this room seems to be somewhat less than in others, although there is still a substantial amount of rubble on the floor. A number of skeletal, rust-red rodents scurrying away from the light.
Alright.
There's a fiendish rat swarm
I'm
you slay.
also charge in.
Assistant quarters. This room also seems slightly damaged. There are still 2 relatively intact beds and a small table to be seen. This looks
Roll
like
again.
a rat room.
Attack.
Cure Lesser Wound.
And to dodge 2 collapsing walls. You successfully dodge 2 collapsing walls. There is an experiment room. This large room shows some signs of deterioration, but looks to be relatively intact. Skeletons of various sizes hang limply from a number of manacles or attached to the wall in various places. More skeletons lie on the floor, their legs shackled via a chain to a large iron spike that has been driven into the center of the floor.
I also charge in.
You are attacked by skeletons. You
Roll
destroy
again.
the
I
reanimated
move
skeletons.
up to attack. Charge.
The widening gallery.
I
The
attack
convoluted hallways and strange locations through show the
Alright,
Celestials'
I cast
dedication
Cure
to
Lesser Wound.
ramp loops within traps, with traps, building corridors where they need not needed, retracting secret doors to areas of no relevance and planting traps to fill emptiness. They befuddled and confused the prisoners
Roll
of this
again.
dungeon for centuries.
I also
Alright, I
charge in.
cast
To
Cure
attack.
Lesser Wound.
Charge.
The lack of logic and straightforward access made this section of a prime location for the treasure hunting activities of the humanoids. who braved its twisting corridors and through the traps in search of the gold promised to them by Longtail. After all, who would Berlin something as convoluted and trap-ridden as these without having something to hide? It was this area that the tenuous lines between the orcs and reptilians faltered as search teams stumbled upon other search teams, and neither side could truly tell who had the rights to what rooms. The situation was not helped by the fact that entire search teams from both sides were wiped out by traps, naturally leading each side to believe the other had killed them. Storage.
Roll again.
Rotting barrels, moldy crates, disintegrating sacks, mushrooms growing out of them lay all over the floor. A hallway in the center of the opposite wall shows you the way out. Storage room. Piles of dust, burnt bones, into something unusual. Scorching ray trap.
I'm also charging.
Fiendish Sturge nest. More Sturges. You slay the Sturges. Gaining XP. Orc guards. The door to this room is open. Two orcs are continuously using the doorway of this room, keeping an eye out of a hallway to the north and the secret door to the west. Both the secret door and the hallway door directly to the north of the doorway are closed. The large room is empty except for the orcs that occupy it, although they try to hide it. A number of them are obviously wounded. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 orcs here. Face of 9 orcs. Definitely battle hardened process. Level 1. You are almost level 11. It's not an easy fight, fighting these orcs so far deep.
Roll again.
One is definitely a berserker. But in the end, you come out on top and kill all 9 orcs. Finally, getting to level 11. Orgahara's Solitude. The door to this room is open. A massive orc is cross-legged on the floor, staring into space.
Roll again.
The corner of the room, safely out of his reach, sits a fine battle axe. He does not notice you approach. This is Orghar, head of the clan of orcs that followed the Longtail to this dungeon. Having watched virtually all his clansmen die at your hands, or at the hands of extra clan beast, this caused his mind to drift. No longer interested in anything, he spends his time in the room lost in private reverie. He is morose and expects to die at any moment.
I also charge in.
You kill Orghar, and he doesn't stop you. He accepts death, and he was a being of such great magnitude that you instantly level up to level 12. You are now level 12 of your chosen class that you started at the beginning of me speaking. And we'll call it there for right now.
Roll again.
Alright, I cast Cure Lesser Wound.
I also charge in.
This is Region A of the dungeon. Longtail's destiny. Longtail. Longtail is a were-rat sorcerer with a quick mind, charisma, and great ambitions. Research and the aid of his familiar, HCX, Longtail found out about the dungeon, its history, and original purpose. Through HCX's ability to commune with the infernal powers, he learned that there was a long-forgotten chapel close to the entryway to the dungeon and held a gateway to an extra-dimensional space where multitudes of infernal beasts had been trapped. Releasing those beasts, HCX told Longtail would make the were-rat their master and would make a ferocious army available to him. Longtail's destiny was clear. Longtail's endless charm allowed him to bring together a diverse force of humanoids to accompany him on his quest. Gathered from the disaffected elements of half a dozen tribes, kobolds, troglodytes, orcs, and even an ogre rallied to his side and agreed to make the journey with the half-friend, half-fiend.
I move up to attack.
Fueled by the promise of treasure and led by wizard folk, guides along Longtail's force made its way to the dungeon in short order. Entering the long-lost entrance, the humanoids began exploring the area, searching for the tome's fabled wealth.
Roll again.
Longtail himself, guided by Aechix, led a small expedition into the farthest reaches. At first, the humans were eager to exploit their new home, greeting the advent of Longtail as a chance to gather as much treasure as possible while the friend was gone. But as search party after search party came back empty-handed, and with tales of barren rooms filled with nothing but traps, trouble ensued. It had been Longtail's natural leadership that held the unusual force together, and now the remaining humanoids were left to their own devices. Soon, the natural rivalries of the various humanoid groups began to assent themselves insults and slights led to shouting and shoving